Welcome back. We are now going to be doing an internet computer deep dive as DFINITY has launched Caffeine AI, an AI platform that builds production apps from natural language prompts. This is the Cryptoviser podcast. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. That way you never miss a new video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the ongoing conversation about internet computer protocol. A lot of people were not very happy with my video the other day that I sold in my portfolio, my own crypto in ICP. Now, not the full, my full holdings in ICP, but the bottom line is what I do in my portfolio should not impact your emotional response to my video, because at the end of the day, you can invest in whatever the F you want. And if you're that bullish about internet computer, why are you not double mortgaging your house and buying more ICP coins at $3? Because as I explained in that video, ICP from a price perspective is the worst performing crypto in the top 50, down over 50% in 2025. And compared to the other coins in the top 50, this is the worst performing. Whether you like it or don't like it, that is what the data is. And we are investors on this channel. We're not hoarding. We're not going to be bag holders. And more importantly, we're not maximalists. So it doesn't matter. I have no loyalty to these coins. At the end of the day, these are investments. And investments only work as long as the investment works. And there's a lot of macro factors that could be part of the reason internet computer is down 50% on the year. But in today's video, we're going to be exploring if Caffeine AI is going to take internet computer to the next level and get ICP out of this situation where we've seen diminishing returns, lower highs, and lower lows. And just at the beginning of October, you can see here during the flash crash, which I believe was a warning to the market, not a warning that we're moving into bullish territory, a warning that the bull cycle for crypto at a macro sense is over. The Bitcoin halving cycle is over. You can see that this coin went from $4 plus, flash crash to under $2. And you're the most bullish you've ever been in your life on this coin. That is unbelievable. For me, I trimmed my position before the flash crash, and the flash crash occurring amidst all of crypto confirmed to me that that was the right decision. And a lot of the people who watched my videos on the video called ICP, I sold, they weren't very happy with that. But again, my investments are my investments and your investments are your investments. Mind your own portfolio, right? If you're so confident in your position, whether it's in ICP or any other crypto or stock or whatever, then you should, what I do in my portfolio, what John or Jack or Jill do in their portfolio should have no impact on you, period. It just shouldn't. And so in today's video, we're going to be exploring what Caffeine AI has done, whether this is the iPhone moment for ICP. Let's get into it. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. So in the middle of October, DFINITY has now launched Caffeine AI, an artificial intelligence platform that allows users to build and deploy. This is not even having to do with ICP. This allows users to build and deploy web applications through natural language conversation alone, bypassing traditional coding entirely. The system, which became publicly available in the middle of October, represents a fundamental departure from existing AI coding assistants by building applications on a specialized, decentralized infrastructure designed specifically for autonomous AI development. Unlike GitHub, Copilot, Cursor, or other vibe coding tools that help human developers write code faster, Caffeine positions itself as a complete replacement for technical teams. Users describe what they want in plain language, basically you just type in what you want, and an ensemble of AI models writes, deploys, and continually updates production-grade applications with no human intervention in the code base itself. Dominic, the founder of DFINITY, said in the future, you as a prospective app owner or service owner will talk to AI. AI will give you what you want in a URL. And you will use that, completely interact productively, and you'll just keep talking to AI to evolve what that does. the AI or ensemble of AIs will be your tech team. Now, we've covered this extensively over the last few months because this is effectively the third launch of this technology. Back in July, they launched the first iteration of Internet Computer's Caffeine AI. Then in July, they launched the second beta version, and now they released the public version. In my view, this three-step process to releasing Caffeine AI was a huge a failure on the part of the team, right? It should have been one launch because the first launch had a lot of speculation, had a lot of people watching what's going on. Once you get into the second and third launch, this becomes a question of like, wait, didn't we already launch it? Didn't it already launch? And as you guys can see, there wasn't, besides the Internet Computer maximalists and bag holders, there was no attention to this. I mean, I saw no mention from any non-ICP Maxi account on social media or in traditional kind of crypto news or AI news about this Caffeine AI launch. The first one in June and the second one in July I saw, but this third one, to me, it was a huge disconnect. It was a big failure to the launch because even us on this channel were questioning, wait, didn't they launch this already? Why are they launching it a third time? People are going to say, but Cryptoviser, they were launching the public version. It's like, that was not clear. And that's not my fault for not understanding it. That's the team's fault for not explaining this very clearly, that they're doing a tiered kind of launch process. And why do a tiered launch instead of just launching it? At the end of the day, again, I'm just giving you guys my opinions. You don't have to agree with it, and that's fine. But I'm letting you guys know what my opinion is. And I do think that the Dfinity team gets it, and they're listening to the feedback. But here's the deal, guys. The community is cultish, and they're just like, how dare you sell your coins? You're going to sell at the macro bottom. I'm like, what makes you think that we're at the macro bottom of ICP's price? Just because we're at multi-year lows on the price doesn't mean that that's the macro bottom. We could still drop another 90% from here. I mean, the coin could technically go to zero or under a penny. It is possible. And I also want to remind my viewers that Caffeine AI is not ICP, and ICP is not Caffeine AI. And so now we're hearing also that Caffeine AI is monetizing the subscription process or model for utilizing this technology. As you guys can see here, this user said ICP is winning. First, they said nobody will use ICP, but then Caffeine AI was born. They said Caffeine AI won't work, and it worked. Then they said it wouldn't be a fit for mass adoption, and it went public. Well, going public is not a fit for mass adoption. Mass adoption is actually people using it on a large scale, corporations, businesses, and all of that. And like I said in my videos, and I think I even responded to a few comments on that video, ICP I sold. People were like, but Cryptoviser, this is going to bring a lot of usage to the network and all of this stuff. But these are big ifs. And it's if people use it, if it gains traction, and if it gets massive adoption, which so far we haven't seen. We have not seen. And by the way, the metrics for Caffeine AI, again, Caffeine AI is not your coins. And there's no connection to your coins. And this monetization model that they have doesn't have a portion of this money going to you or going to the holders of the coin. This is a product built on Internet Computer. It's not the Internet Computer, and you as an ICP holder have no stake in Caffeine AI, period. Now, there is something to say, well, Cryptoviser, if people start using Caffeine AI, this is going to increase the metrics on the network. And if you increase the metrics on the network, you're going to increase the revenue on the network and the usage of the coin within the network's ecosystem, which I agree with. That is true. But that's if. And so far, we have not seen that if come to fruition. Now, it may after I'm recording this video, but so far, we haven't seen it happen. Even Dominic, the founder of Dfinity, who I think he's a very smart guy, very smart individual, and I think he's doing some pretty incredible things, within this AI decentralized network space, right? But that doesn't mean this is going to work out, right? I mean, there's founders that have 15 failures before they have one success. Now, Internet Computer, I think, is a success, but yeah, I don't think that it's a realized success. That it hasn't found its niche of usage just yet. Maybe caffeine is it, maybe it's not. I don't know. I mean, only time is going to tell with that. But we did hear from Dominic in the middle of the year that we would see 10x in some of the metrics on the network, including transactions per second. And so far, we have not seen that. We saw massive increases during the testing phase and the rollout of some of these AI capabilities in 2024 into 2025. But since then, there's been very, very minimal increases in the transactions per second. Now, this does not take away the fact that Internet Computer is on par with Solana's transaction throughput, which is a huge win for ICP. But being at 4,000 or 5,000 transactions per second capability, but nobody's using the technology, is a big disconnect, right? Solana has this throughput, but people are using it at a much larger scale than they're using ICP. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, you can see here they have a starter pack, a plus pack, and a pro pack. So anywhere from $16 a month to $100 a month. Again, for this to actually be something that is going to increase your the valuation of this network, I mean, you're going to have hundreds of thousands or millions of users, which the data is not public on caffeine AI usage. So I don't know how many users there actually are. From my understanding, less than 1,000 in the alpha and beta phases before this public launch. And now that there's a paywall on it, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they should definitely have a free starter pack so people can at least test and use this. But obviously you don't want to spam the network either with just nonsense. So ICP is in kind of a tough situation here. And this is part of the reason that I trimmed my position, because from a price perspective, the trend is your friend. We talk about this all the time, right? The trend is your friend. And we've had lower highs all the way down since basically the beginning of 2024, so over a year and a half. And we've had lower lows. And this wick at the flash crash in October, in my view, was a warning, not just for ICP, for a lot of different cryptos, that there is a puff of air under some of these cryptos that just have not performed to the degree that we expected them to perform at. This gives me very similar vibes to where I was with Cardano at this point in the cycle in 2021. Because I want to remind you, in 2021, Cardano was promising smart contract capabilities. Charles Hoskinson was saying things like, there were going to be thousands of apps, thousands of users, millions of transactions, stuff like that. And then they launched the capabilities for smart contracts in September of 2021. And by the beginning of 2022, nothing deployed. There was no usage, no projects, no smart contract capabilities, no DEXs. And I made a video highlighting that. And then within 1 week, 2 or 3 DEXs launched. And I said on my video at that time, it took me saying on a video, why are we 3 or 4 months after smart contract capabilities launch with Goguen era launching on Cardano, and we have nothing to show for it? And then 3 DEXs launch. And the insiders at Cardano were saying, oh no, Cryptoviser, it wasn't your video. They were planning on launching anyway. If they were planning on launching, why didn't they launch when smart contracts went into effect in September? They waited 4 months until I said something on my video, and then they launched. It was too late at that point. And then I sold my coins. And people are saying, Cryptoviser, you're an idiot for selling. You're trying to convince me that I made a bad decision in my portfolio, which is not going to occur. Guys, when I make a decision in my portfolio, it's a good decision. And nothing you can say in the comments will counter that. And I think most of my long-term viewers understand where I'm coming from and agree with this, right? If you have a thesis and the thesis doesn't play out, you cut your losses and move on. It's like owning a car, right? And the car is worth $10,000. And then you have an issue with the engine, and then you have an issue with the tires, and then you have an issue with the transmission, and then and you're putting more than the car is worth. And eventually you're like, you got to walk away from it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep going broke into nothing. And I'm not saying this is not going to work out forever, but if you look at Cardano, they still don't have interoperability. They still don't have major stablecoin compatibility. And they launched another coin because probably they needed to like fresh start with a lot of other features that Cardano is just not capable of. Midnight Network. And I'm not saying it was bad. I mean, so far it seems like Midnight Network was a smart move, right? But what does that say for the Cardano holders? They're still holding on to a failed project. Not 100% failed, but in a lot of these factors that we were just talking about, interoperability, stablecoin compatibility, Chainlink, oracles, they still don't have it. We're years later and they still don't have it. That's a problem. And so with Internet Computer, I told my viewers when we were starting to approach this mid-October launch, it may be too late because the macro cycle is over, right? For Bitcoin, if you look at the days since the Bitcoin halving, we're past the 18 months since the Bitcoin halving. And historically, that's when crypto, Bitcoin specifically, starts to move into bear territory, and the rest of the market follows. And so these smaller coins, if they have only one thing that they're trying to achieve, or one thing to put them on the map, which is what Internet Computer, the one thing was Caffeine AI. And we're on the third launch, and it seems like from the first launch, the second launch, or the third launch, you had less and less interest. And now AI is being talked about being in a bubble. So when people hear that, they don't want to invest in anything AI because they think it's in a bubble. And if the bubble bursts, that's when they're going to invest. And this is no different for cryptos related to ICP. I mean, look at Fetch AI, which is using Internet Computer's capabilities and technology. This is part of the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, right? And look at their coin. This coin went from about 57 cents during the flash crash to 10 cents. That's an 80% decline during the flash crash. That is a signal, in my view, because at the end of the day, ASI or Fetch AI does have ASI1, which is like a chatbot, similar type of thing, vibe coding and all that. But they use Internet Computer's capabilities. Lower highs, lower lows. And so when you're looking at the macro sense, AI bubble potential, a lot of conversation about, AI being in a big bubble, the technology is just not up to speed where it needs to be. And by the way, there's other vibe coding apps. Caffeine AI is not the only one. You have to convince people to utilize Caffeine AI, which then utilizes the Internet Computer Network with its deployment. But some businesses may not want to utilize Internet Computer. They may not want to use a decentralized network. And so what else does Internet Computer have in its portfolio of products to continue to gain usage, to continue to gain valuation if we are in a bubble, exiting a bubble, moving into a bear market? The answer is not much. And this is a big disappointment in my view for me as an investor, because it's not like I'm selling in a profit, I'm selling at a loss. And that is always rough, right? But at the end of the day, as an investor, I still believe in this technology. I mean, if you look at the Internet Computer's network, and this is where my real viewers come through, and the maximalists in ICP that have 100% of their portfolio, 100% of their business operations in Internet Computer, and they can't see anything else, this is the big difference. Because they look at the data and they're like, well, everything looks great to me. And it's like, okay, it does look great. And the network and the performance of the network and the decentralization of the network and the global availability of this network for businesses, for AI compute and capabilities, for even just like file storage like Amazon Web Service and Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure, it's there. But it hasn't been realized by the rest of the market yet. And I think part of the reason this year is, one, all of the eggs have been put in the Caffeine AI basket, which was a huge mistake in my view. Number two, Caffeine AI doesn't even run on ICP. Number three, there are other capabilities that Dfinity, the developers within the ecosystem, they could have capitalized on, but they didn't. And listen, there's people who are going to say, but Cryptoviser, then you should start building this and that. Guys, I am not here to fix these blockchains, to fix these stock companies, right? I'm not a CEO. I have no desire to be one. I'm a CEO of this channel, but beyond that, no desire. And the point is, I'm an analyst and I'm an investor and I'm going to have my opinions. That's what we present on this channel. And maybe my analysis will be wrong. Maybe it's going to be right. Maybe it's going to be a combination of both. But for me, holding on to a coin, being a bag holder in a bear market, I've done that multiple cycles now. And I am not doing that anymore. And I've told my viewers many times for years on this channel, by the end of this cycle, and we're at the end of the cycle, for the macro crypto environment, I want zero crypto in my portfolio. Zero. I want to go into the next bear market with no crypto at all. And I'm on my way there. I'm on my way there. And if that is so triggering for you as an investor, and I know most of my viewers, it's not triggering. You guys are thinking the same thing. You're like, well, Cryptoviser, you have been saying that you want to be out of crypto by the end of the cycle. You have been saying that there needs to be mass adoption, and we're at the end of the cycle, and we don't have mass adoption for pretty much any of these cryptos. It's not just ICP, it's a lot. Most cryptos, there's no adoption. There's no major usage outside of like maybe the top 10 cryptos, maybe even less. It's time to cleanse the portfolio a little bit and prepare for the bear market. This doesn't mean that I'm going to stop coverage of Internet Computer. This doesn't mean that Caffeine AI is going to fail. This doesn't mean that Internet Computer is going to fail. What this means is, for now, it's not a good investment for my portfolio. And it's so much so not a good investment for my portfolio that I sold it at a loss. And there's a lot of people who don't understand that either. I would rather sell at a loss and move that position, even at a loss, into another asset that will go up over the time that I'm not in this coin or not in crypto, than keep it in an asset that is trending down into a bear market. There's people who are like, but Cryptoviser, I'm just going to hold and we'll see what happens. And they're hoping that we're going to hit $20 again. But I would definitely recommend, I have a video coming out, it may already be out. It's going to be called something like Crypto Diminishing Returns or Bitcoin Diminishing Returns. And go look up the law of diminishing returns. Because most people in crypto, it seem just top chase. Oh, but in the last cycle, this happened. Oh, in the last bull run, this happened. In the last bull run, this happened. So it has to happen again. No, it doesn't. And if you look at Cardano, Cardano's peak in 2021 was $3.10 or $3.50. It hasn't even hit $1 in this cycle. Meanwhile, I have commenters on every video. Cryptoviser, are you still waiting for 25-cent Cardano? It's like, we didn't even hit $1, and you're laughing that I said I'm going to wait till 25 cents. I don't think that Cardano is investable at all anymore, because now we're in another cycle, still no stable coins, still no interoperability. And these are concerns that I've raised about ICP as well. Like if ICP is really trying to compete in the crypto space, it needs interoperability. It needs Chainlink oracles. It needs stable coins like Tether and USDC natively issued, not through chain key cryptography. But they don't have that either. Are they going to have it in the next cycle? Well, it seems like the answer to that is no, based on the current development thesis and the desire of these networks. Because again, new networks that are popping up have these capabilities. So the networks that are already around and have development teams and have funding that don't get these things, it probably means they're not going to. And so what is that going to mean for the next cycle? I am not going to be a bag holder. And most of my viewers are not going to be bag holders either. And so look in the comments, because most of these people are probably blocked, most of the bots, but you're going to see, they're going to say, but Cryptoviser, they're going to be bag holders. They will be bag holders because they think this is the bottom of the market, $3. We haven't even hit the bear market yet. Go look at Metaplanet. Go look at Nakamoto on the stock market. 95% drop in 3 or 4 or 5 months. You don't think that's going to happen in crypto? Anyway, listen, I am very bullish on the technology. I am very bullish on Caffeine AI's capabilities and the fact that they're one of the only AI companies that are monetizing their product. But that doesn't guarantee usage. That doesn't guarantee adoption. And that's what ICP needs on a large scale. And all you got to do is go to the ICP dashboard and look at the metrics. Nothing has been going up. Maybe slow increases, right, since the middle of 2025, but nothing, and that's good because that means it's organic growth. It's not forced growth. Like if you see a major spike, like a banana zone spike, typically that's like a forced metric move. But a lot of the other metrics we're not seeing, right? We're seeing a lot of whale accumulation of ICP, but to me that says the whales are basically absorbing the selling that's going on. It's not what I think, it's what's going on. So with that, let me know what you guys think. This is a deep dive into the Internet Computer Protocol, the technology, and more importantly, the price activity. I'll see you guys in the next video. Crypto on.